Hello, welcome along to Racing to Win. This is Hong Kong's twice weekly preview show. We are at Sha Tin on this Sunday for a 10-race program. Joined in the studio today by Paul Lally and Nick Child. And Nick, there's no feature races per se, but there is one eye on the 4-year-old series and some contenders with the first of the 4-year-old series races, in fact, 3 weeks away.
Yeah, it certainly is, Mark. Looking forward to it as well. Some real clues possibly this weekend coming up for the 4-year-old series. Really looking forward to those possibly, and also some nice newcomers on the programme as well.
There is indeed. We'll talk through them as the show progresses. Paul Lally joins us as well, and after a few weeks of big jackpots, none this week.
No jackpots at all this week, but as Nick said, there's plenty of first starters to sort of digest there with the form. Some of them have raced overseas, some of them are first starters in their careers as well. So some interesting ones. And the 4-year-old series is going to take shape as well, I think, a little bit after this.
It is indeed, with the Classic Mile, the first of the 4-year-old series on the 30th of January. Let's have a look at what is coming up at this week's meeting at Sha Tin. We're on the turf, all 10. It's the C course. And the field for the 3rd and the field for the 7 are the 2 races we're going to preview here on Racing to Win. So an early start with that Class 3 over the 1200 and the Class 2 over 1600 metres as well. The Luck Wheel Handicap, the 3rd, and we've got Racing Fighter, a 4-time course and distance winner. Off a rating of 76 at the moment. Team Spirit likely to go forward. Compassion Spirit has shown his best form across at Happy Valley. Armour Eagle, 2 starts in strong fields. First starters California Sky and Double 6 Pop. Gallant Express, Wagner Borges, 3 rides for a couple of placings. And down the bottom, Handsome 12, a gear change gets the cheek pieces on. All right, we've made our way across to the touchscreen for the first of the preview races, Nick, and we're running the 1200 metres off a good to slow anticipated pace.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the likes of Team Spirit who likes to go forward. Now, California Sky, obviously an interesting runner because he is a newcomer, but he has shown pace in his trials, and Compassion Spirit and Gallant Express is a horse who's been kept busy. He shouldn't be too far away as well, Paul. Yeah,
small field. I think everyone's going to get into their positions. Another one of the first starters here in Hong Kong, Double 6 Pop. He has gone forward in a couple of his trials, but just from his wide draw, I think he'll go back, head towards the back. Racing Fighter, we know, generally gets back as well, along with Beauty Mission. But yeah, you're right. California Sky is the interesting one here.
And with quite a bit of focus on California Sky in that speed map, the man that takes the ride for the first time in Hong Kong is Karis Teaton. Nick was out at track work yesterday morning to catch up with Karis himself.
Karis, you're at a newcomer this weekend by the name of California Sky. You've trialled him and he looks to show good speed.
Yes, he's a lovely horse. Trialled him, I think, 2 times, and he gave me a nice feel. He felt like every time he's improving all his trials, so looking forward to riding him.
And well drawn, obviously he's got the inside barrier, so that's going to be a big help on debut.
Yes, of course. He's got some natural speed at the gate, and I think from that good draw will help him. He's a big, strong horse, so I think it's a big advantage.
You actually rode this horse in a trial, I think, in a trial that Lucky With You won, so there would have been plenty of speed on that day.
Yes, I remember that day. Like I said, he just has so much natural speed and lovely horse going forward.
And he's won a couple in Australia over a little bit further. Obviously, you've ridden plenty of horses, plenty of winners here. What type of horse do you need to go and win first time up in Hong Kong?
Actually, just the horse that how he is, just lot of natural speed and very straightforward. He do everything right, so he's come on pretty quick, and I think he'll be in a winner's box very quickly.
And just on the meeting gone Wednesday, another winner for you, so things are ticking over quite nicely?
Yes, of course. I had to battle with my shoulder injury for almost 2 months, and that's over now, so now I'm back to myself and just need to ride some more winners now.
Starts off over the 1200 metres this week, Nick, California Sky, but he was a very confident Karis Teaton.
He was, yeah. Interesting listening to, obviously, Karis's his comments on him, because he's clearly a horse who's shown plenty of speed. He's drawn gate number 1, so he's well placed to go forward, Paul, and he does stay a little bit further.
He does. Look, his 2 wins are over 1,500 metres in Australia, and he did take a while to win those 2 races, and they're both on soft tracks when he won. Now, we've seen him go really well in the trials here, 3 starts, but he is starting up over 1,200.
He is indeed. So that is California Sky. some of his opposition. Team Spirit, Paul, will go forward. Armour Eagle's done a good job in 2 starts, bumped into some nice horses, the Golden Scenery and Romantic Warrior here.
Yeah, no, it was a good run here from, I thought, Armour Eagle in particular. Once he got out, he hit the line really strongly. A smaller field, I think, will help him a lot. He's had the 2 runs, so he's got sort of the race fitness on his side here, and I think it's a really strong form race with Romantic Warrior being a really good horse.
Yeah, obviously Romantic Warrior partnered by Joe. He takes over on this horse this time in. His record for trainer Mi Choi, I think, is 10 rides for 3 winners. So you know, it's a good percentage, and I imagine Joe would have looked back at that replay and certainly would have liked the run of Armour Eagle.
And on Romantic Warrior, he trialled up quite nicely yesterday morning at Sha Tin. Final replay is Compassion Spirit. Nick, now he's raced well over the 1,200 metres, but it's all been at Happy Valley.
Yeah, that's probably the slight concern. He's had plenty of racing here at Sha Tin, 12 runs. He has run a couple of placings, so he's not sort of a one-trick pony completely, but all 4 wins, Paul, have been at the Valley. But he continues to race well.
He is. He's racing really nice. And when he did win 2 starts ago, it was a great ride from Zach to get him into the absolutely right position. Look, I'm just a little bit concerned about those Sha Tin stats.
OK, and finally, another one of the newcomers we'll see shortly, but Gallant Express first, Paul. Now, this is a horse that's also been in some strong fields. He's been racing Lucky With You, the Golden Scenery, Master 8, and Super 10's not hopeless either.
No, it's a really strong form races, and the last 2 seconds have been behind Lucky With You, as you can see, and this is at the occasion. And these 2 horses went clear. This is a really good race, this race. Look, I think he's a good chance. I've got him in as a Quinella horse.
Yeah, I'll be glad that David Hayes' horse isn't turning up this week as well, because he's run into the back of him twice. But he's been kept busy. He's clearly a very fit horse. Just having a look through what work he's done in between, it's been very minimal, as you'd expect. So he's clearly fresh and well, and he's fit, and he should run well.
It's the Borgner and a size combination. Now, this is the first starter we were going to get to before Gallant Express, but it's 6 a pop here, Nick, and he's making his debut on the back of just a couple of trials.
Yeah, he was 4th this day behind Hot King Prawn, so he kept good company, and he was on the pace when winning down in Australia. Only had a couple of runs there, was 3rd at Rose Hill thereafter, winning at Canterbury, Paul, over the 1,100 metres. So he's clearly got plenty of speed. I think he's a very interesting runner.
Yeah, look, he is. He's 1184 pounds. He's had the 2 trials. Just a little bit awkward in barrier 9. I just think if he goes forward, he could get trapped wide with Team Spirit and also California Sky in there. So I think they'll probably go back with him.
He's one of a couple of first starters for Tony Millard there on Sunday. But what about in the 3rd, Paul? Who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Armour Eagle. I just thought he comes out of that really strong form race. It was a good run for him, and he's had those 2 runs under his belt now. Gallant Express is very consistent. I think he'll be right there. California Sky, I think, will come on from the run. He's 1281 pounds. He's a big horse, and his wins have been over further. And Team Spirit, a horse who's going to be right on the pace. 4, 7, 5 and 2.
Yeah, I've gone the same way as Paul here. Armour Eagle for me on top as well. I mean, last time out, he just lugged in a little bit in the closing stages, so I think there's more to come, and he looks very progressive. So he'll go on top for me over Team Spirit, who looks well placed to go forward. Alfie Chan's claiming a useful few pounds off of him, and he's a course and distance winner no less than 5 times. Gallant Express goes in. Look, he's rock hard fit. He's been running very well. And California Sky, the newcomer. I think he'll show up well on debut. Not an easy race to make his introduction to Hong Kong, though, but he'll certainly run his race. 4, 2, 7, 5.
It's all about Armour Eagle to win in Hong Kong at his 3rd outing. That is the preview for race number 3. We're heading to a break here on Racing to Win. Back with a look at race number 7 right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. Before we move on to race number 7, just a reminder about Hong Kong Direct, which you'll also find on the website, hkjc.com, under audio and video. Luke Curry, special guest on the show this week. He's one of a couple of new riders who are now in Hong Kong doing 3 weeks quarantine and expecting to ride at the Chinese New Year meeting. And Nick also catches up with Zach Purton, who's on the comeback trail from injury. He rode at the trials yesterday morning in Hong Kong, Friday morning, as did Lyle Hewitson. So the great news is both well on their way to returning to race day riding. That is all on Hong Kong Direct. Back to Racing to Win. The Czech King Handicap is race number 7 over the 1,600 metres, and we've got Master Montaro on a 7-day backup. He ran 4th in the Chinese Club Challenge Cup last weekend. I'm a single man to the 1,600 for the first time. Gear change on E-Star. He wears a tongue tie. We move on to Beluga, who's coming back from the 1,800 at Happy Valley to the 1,600 at Sha Tin. SJ Torbjorn has the blinkers on after failing first up. Conqueror has been placed second up. Rocket Spades up in trip to the 1600 metres. And the Irishman one start in Hong Kong for a third, and he comes into Class 2 for the first time. Speed map time, and Nick, this one really does have a focus towards the 4-year-old series.
It certainly does. As we take a look at it now, Master Delight, he likes to go forward, and there wouldn't seem to be a great deal of pace on in this race. Master Montaro also likes to race prominently. Beluga, who's been in very good form, he can sit a little bit closer, I'm sure, from a good gate in barrier number 3, and East Star Conqueror will be following them, Paul. But some of the sort of the main protagonists, or the ones we're looking forward to, will be getting back, I imagine.
Yeah, the Irishman, he went back on debut. He did race forward before he came over here to Hong Kong, but they elected to go back, and he ran really well on debut here. Rocket Spade generally likes to sit midfield or worst, and I'm a single man. Here's another one who's gone forward in the past, but from barrier 8, I think they'll just try and slot in there.
OK, so that's the speed map for race number 7, and looking forward to the 4-year-old series here, Nick, is the series watch with 5 horses potentially heading firstly to the Classic Mile. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I'm a single man, obviously, last time out. He certainly, put his marker down, didn't he, with a good win when beating Circuit 3 and Co. And obviously Master Delight is a horse who's lightly raced coming into this, Paul. And SJ Tourbillon's got good form in the UK and Ireland, but really would need to sort of lift his game on what he showed on debut. And then a couple of really nice horses that we've seen just the once.
Yeah, Rocket Spade and the Irishman. So, yeah, I mean, all 5 of them. I mean, take out SJ Tourbillon because he does need to improve that debut, but the other 4 look all really well and good.
We can focus even further on one of them now, the Irishman having his second start in Hong Kong. Vincent Ho rode him on debut and partners him again on Sunday afternoon.
Vincent, the Irishman is a horse that you'll ride for the second time in Hong Kong this weekend. He gave you a nice fill last time, and it was a good run on debut.
Yeah, definitely. Got great turn of foot, and he's very professional. In the morning, he is a bit toey, and he can get a little bit keen in the morning, but in the race, he know what he's doing. He settled really well, and had he's brave enough to take gaps and go through horses.
He certainly did do that very well. Just on his recent trial, obviously, was that just a case of going through the gears? He looked to do it quite nicely.
Yeah, because still quite a while since last run, and better give him a nice blow.
Just on the trip, obviously, he goes up to a mile. Has that always been the thinking between yourself and Francis, that he certainly wants that trip?
Yeah, and ready for him for the 4-year-old series. So it's a good race for him before the Classic Mile.
And you obviously know from previous experience what it takes to win, legs of that series naturally. Does he give you the impression that he'll certainly go through all the distances as far as the series is concerned?
Yeah, it felt really good last start. In a mile, surely no problem. And see how he performed afterwards and how mature he will be.
Just on where you're drawn, Vincent, it's only a small field, 9 of 9. How does that sort of affect your sort of gameplay going into the race?
Yeah, of course it's not ideal, 9 to 9, but looking in a good way, it's only a small field. I would say still better off riding him a little bit quieter. Seems like not much pace in the race, so we'll see how it pans out. He got a good turn of foot, so it should be fine.
Yeah, indeed. And just finally, on the other end of the spectrum, sprinters, Kerpenny was good for you on Wednesday night. That was a strong win.
Yeah, I think definitely blinkers really helped, and former boss did a really good job on him. And thanks for keeping me on after the 1,000.
With a little wry smile, says Vincent, but he certainly repaid the faith on Wednesday night. Let's focus a little more on that race now, boys, with the Irishman. We saw that replay a short time ago, but here it is again. That is him back in the field, and it was a terrific finish, Nick, because the leader had gone very slow sectionals up front, and he was he was never going to beat him, but certainly taking plenty of ground off him.
Yeah, he was. The winner, the horse you alluded to, Beauty Joy, as we all know, has since gone on and run second to Packing Victory. So that form's very good. And I mean, this was as pleasing a debut from where he's pocketed away, Paul, as you could possibly wish for. I mean, he's made up any number of lengths here, and as Vincent said in that interview, he was brave to go through gaps, and he's certainly got a tenacious attitude.
Oh, definitely. And he did bring some good form from overseas. He raced in Australia and New Zealand before he got here. Beauty Joy is really primed up for that win as well, and as you say, he's gone on with it as well.
Yeah.
He has, and a perfect pair in those pink and black colours which finished down the track. He's come out and run a strong second in good company since, so the form out of the race is good. That is the Irishman. Next replay, we've got a few to focus on here. We'll talk more about I'm a Single Man, Paul, in just a moment, because we'll focus on him closely after we look at the stretch run. Rocket Spade will be fitter and up in trip, and SJ Torbin, as you said earlier, he really needs to improve off this performance.
Yeah, finished last year. Look, a good run, though, I thought, from Rocket Spade. Now, he did get up and win the New Zealand Derby, so he can get up to 2,400 metres. He's now racing at 1,600, up from 1,400. I don't know. Look, I've definitely got him in, but I just wonder if the longer trips for him. But it was still a really good run on debut here.
Yeah, it certainly was, wasn't it? He'll come into his own. I mean, look, even if you had to sort of pigeonhole him, he's going to be a Derby horse, isn't he? That's where he's sort of his main focus, I'm sure, will be. But yeah, look, a good run, and obviously take nothing away from the winner. He was very good as well. But you know, he's got to prove himself up over a mile. That was my slight concern with I'm a Single Man.
And here he is again, Nick. He did get all the favours here too. He never went round a horse. He's done a really good job recently, but as you said, unknown over further.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, he's well campaigned. He's you know, he's not been wasting any time in his box. Tony Cruz has been happy to run him, and he's had a busy campaign already. This will be start 6 coming up, and he's won a couple. So, look, his form is good. I do just query the trip slightly, especially going forward as well.
Yeah, I agree. Just up to the 1,600 metres. You can see there it's his first go over the trip. He's fit. He's got race fitness. He's rock hard fit. He's had 5 starts this season. He's won 2 of them and hasn't finished further back than 4th. So the horse is going well, but he's up against some of the big boys here, just that are quite progressive and really good stayers, I think, as well.
Absolutely. And Matthew Poon, 1 for 1 on the horse. He'll carry an extra £6 this week. I'm a Single Man for that last start win. Back to his race rivals now, and we're off to the trials, and Master Delight is the horse here, Paul, we're going to focus on. Just had the 4 starts in Hong Kong for a win, couple of placings and a 4th. He's up in weight too on that run behind Fast Most Furious last start, but what did you like as far as the trial goes? Yeah,
I thought the trial was pretty good, nice quiet trial from him. Look, there's no natural leader in the race here. Beluga's a possibility, but I think they'll be quite positive from barrier number 7, and if he gets his own way in front, look, his 4 runs have all been really good here in Hong Kong.
They have. I mean, he's been favoured on 3 of them, barring his debut. And I mean, that race last time behind Fast Most Furious, Senor Toba ran 3rd. He's come out and won. So another horse to sort of throw into the mix possibly for the series. But I think he'll appreciate the trip, but he has got more weight to carry.
This is Master Montara. I mentioned earlier, Nick, he's on a 7-day backup. So this was in racing Group 3 level last week. Healthy Happy wins. He's up outside the speed there. We heard from Zach too last week. He is a horse that hasn't had a whole lot of luck since he's been in Hong Kong. He's had some bad barriers and just some unlucky, tough runs.
He certainly has, yeah. I mean, he's a rock-solid horse, isn't he? I mean, this run, obviously, recently at a better level was a good run for sure. I mean, he's kept on. He's been beaten 2 lengths in the end. A bit like I'm a Single Man, I probably do just query the distance a little bit with this guy, and he has got a big weight, but Jerry's going to claim £3, so that's going to be a help.
Yeah, look, and as you say, it's easier. His last win was off a rating of 87, and he comes in with 93 with a claim, so he's not far away from that. He just has to give away weight to these horses, but he is a big horse.
Yep. And back to the Valley here, Paul. This is Beluga last time out. This was on the 8th of December. That is him in the pink colours there, and well, it's been a pretty strong form race, this one, because that is Zabrowski, who was winning at group level on Wednesday night. We've also got coming out of this race a horse that you've got a massive opinion on, Far Far.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, it was a good run. This is going to be a little bit harder for Beluga. He does like Sha Tin, though. That's one thing in his favour. He's a 4-time winner here at Sha Tin. Not over the 1,600 metres. This was 1,800, so he does have to come back to the 1,600. From barrier 3, I think they'll be quite positive on him as well.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, look, he's got rock-solid form recently, hasn't he? He's done nothing wrong. And to be honest, that form around Zabrowski obviously looks a lot better now, doesn't it? And, you know, he's honest and he's tough and he'll run his race.
And Sunny Star also came out of that race and has run into a placing behind Zabrowski on Wednesday night. Selections, Paul?
Yeah, like the Irishman, I thought it was a really good debut run from him. Up to 1600 looks ideal, and he showed that really good turn of foot. So he's on top. Master Delight, if they leave him alone in front. Master Montero is going to find this a lot easier. And Rocket Spade, I think he can improve and run on strongly towards the end as well. So 9, 4, 1 and 8 for me in race 7.
Yeah, I've gone the same way as Paul here, the Irishman. I was just very taken by his debut run, and I think he's going to get a lot better as he progresses. So he'll go for me, go on top for me, the Irishman. Master Delight, I think, will really appreciate the trip, and that form's looking okay. Rocket Spade, I think he's still a horse further down the line. He'll come into his own, but he can certainly run well here for sure. And I've thrown Beluga in as well. It's hard to leave him out. The form around the Valley last couple of starts has been good, and first go at this trip at Sha Tin, 9, 4, Ace and 5.
We've seen races 3 and 7. Paul, outside of those two, who did you like in the other Ace events on the program?
I do like a horse called Pin's Prince that comes up in the middle of the card. I think this horse has been going really well recently. Joe Moreira aboard as well. A horse good like that who's coming back to the straight 1000. He's won twice down the course and distance. I like one at a price, Gorgeous Vitality. He's only had the one start and he's drawn 14 down the straight 1000 as well. And Beauty Champ I thought was very good on debut, and I think he can win the last.
And you can see a breakdown of each and every race at hkjc.com. Click on audio and video for the Racing to Win races 1 through to 10. Your best bet is the Irishman.
Yeah, going to go with the Irishman. We've talked about him. I just think he's got this really good turn of foot, and it's all full steam ahead to the 4-year-old series for him. And Gorgeous Vitality, only had the one start, ran towards the back, but he trialled really well before that, with that experience under his belt. He's the each-way play. And then in race 7, 1, 4 and 9, the QQP, Master Montero, Master Delight, and the Irishman.
Yeah, I've got my best race 3, number 4, ARMOUR Eagle. I liked his run last time. Joe jumps on board for Me Choi. They've got a good record together. I think he'll take a bit of stopping. And the long shot, race 9, number 9, wins all. He's not drawn the best, but he's certainly got the form to take a hand, especially over this trip. And the play, I've gone race 5, 2, 3 and 10, Whiz Kid, Noble Desire, and the newcomer, Oriental Smoke.
Race 10, number 2, Private Rocket. He's out of racing behind Navas 2. Nothing wrong with that form. All wins have been course and distance. 8 Trigram has been racing well over 1,000 metres. He's back onto the turf on Sunday. And the play, race 10, Private Rocket and Parterre, who's definitely getting better and closer to a win. That has been Racing to Win. Sha Tin tomorrow, then Happy Valley Wednesday night.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be good. There's good racing coming up. A lot of those first starters. I'm really interested to see how they go as well. And back to the Valley.
Thank you, boys, and good luck to you on Sunday with the 10 races at Sha Tin kicking off at 1 o'clock. We'll see you then. That has been Racing to Win. Bye-bye.